Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to this experiment. It has only been but a moment for you, but for me it's been an entire day, yes. And in that time, I was thinking about ways I can improve this, make it a little bit better. So, first order for this video session, I have adjusted the audio settings a little bit. My voice should be a touch louder, and the gameplay should be a touch quieter. I felt this would be a better balance. Second, it is important that I emotionally reconcile with the fact that I lost a lot of souls. That's going to be tough. Could have leveled up a few times, but I didn't. So, those are the consequences. This session is going to be back on the goal prior of getting up into the bell, ringing it, and uncovering a little bit more of this world. So, to start out, like I said last time, I would like to begin talking about the item description. For this, the Firekeeper's soul. So, this is the soul of a long-lost Firekeeper. Each Firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire and a draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Her soul is gnawed by infinite humanity and can boost the power of precious Estus flasks. It can also be used to gain humanity and restore HP at the cost of losing the Firekeeper's soul to reinforce the Estus flask. So, what that teaches us is a couple of things. First, there are greater bonfires which are tended by a Firekeeper, as is his Firelink Shrine, and as some of the keen-eyed of you have noticed, it is also a bonfire that gives me 10 Estus instead of 5. This is one such greater bonfire. Which means, in theory, down this way in a direction we've yet to be, we may be able to find ourselves our Firekeeper. She's unable to speak. Well, we can give her soul, or we'll give her a soul. Some other Firekeeper. Maybe it'll give us a good edge. Now, let's take a little bit more of a look around. Because we have that Firekeeper. We also have a little bit farther down here. And we have an elevator. Now this is going to take us somewhere kind of freaky for the sake of exploration, and also the fact that I want to get a little bit of equipment before I begin to make my trek back up. We're going to go down. Into the dark depths below. Now, as you remember in the intro, this is a world defined by two primordial forces. This is also something that keeps it in line as dark fantasy. The idea of there being like very, very great, clear-cut differences between primordial ideas, light and dark. Down here is hella dark. And for what reason? Uncertain so far. Many, many hollows, people who've lost their minds, seem to be strewn about here. Ended item. Hey, transient curse. that will be an important item to come back to. It'll be both useful for exploring here and also for discussing some of the ideas at play. For now, we're going to leave this cursed ass nightmare behind us. And we're going to begin to put a little bit of emphasis on our equipment. For now, this isn't the weapon I would like to end up with, but as I was a dunce and did not allot my stats when I had the money to do so, I am going to use it. Now, is this the staircase that we came from? It is. It's always a good idea, I think, in this game, to double check and look at things from different angles, because as you saw, I walked right past that soul initially. But my purpose for being here is part of the reason I picked Thief, and then also picked Master Key as my starting item. I don't usually start this class, so it's kind of burned into my brain. The Master Key is a key item I would consider to be the most useful for a sort of soft sequence breaking. It lets us open a handful of doors. It let me unlock the door that had Havel beneath it, and it is going to let me unlock something in the Valley of the Drakes. I would make a topical joke, but that would date things, I think. Now, in the Valley of the Drakes, there's something in particular I would like. Over there is not where I want to be yet. That is a secondary route. Now, as an idea of dementia, I think it's really interesting that Firelink Shrine does not communicate any of the ways that it links in with the rest of the world to you. It has its roots dug in, both up into the church, where I lost all my money, and down deep into the Valley of the Drakes here. And whatever was going on with that dark, dark city. So consistently, it is a place that is not necessarily secret keeping from us, but is not telling us about how connected it is to the rest of the world. I think that is relatively interesting. Now, as you can see here, this guy is alive, and he has something that I unfortunately want. Now, I can't remember which one it is, so you're going to get to see me panic a little bit. We're going to go for this item here. Okay, it wasn't that one. Luckily, I have no souls, so I can get a little bit risky. Okay, and it was neither of those. Okay, shield upgrade. Rule of Dark Souls. If there's a dragon and it looks dead, it's probably not dead. Now, unfortunately for me, I do not have the stats to use these properly, which is profoundly depressing. But if I can figure out... okay. So I need 1 additional strength and 3 faith to get the most out of this weapon. I would prefer not to. I'm going to put... So, using some of the items that we found here, we're finding the souls of previous adventurers or citizens. It's not necessarily consistent from person to person, hence the idea of different tiers. So I'm going to pop a couple of these guys, and they're going to give me a currency. And I'm going to use those to level up my strength. Wow, I can't use the shield either. What do I need for that? Also 10. Okay. Now I kind of overshot my goal a little bit. Incidentally, also, something that is surprisingly much more difficult than I would have imagined. Leveling up while, like, trying to keep a coherent chain of thought. That is difficult. Well, I digress. I have a shield now. I have a sword with a little bit more range than my inky dink dagger. And I think with just one more lateral move, one more exploration, and perhaps a conversation with that man whom I did not speak to prior. I swear I saw an item. I will get back to it. Like I said, this is what we're going to call the Perseverance playthrough. Now, this area over here is a bit of a mistake, frankly. It's very easy to wander. This is a part of the reason why I got stuck early on. Ow. You can leave me alone, please. Is the game does not tell you which way to go. Not directly. The way it does, in a mean sort of flippant way, is we're going to put a lot of enemies who are very annoying and you can't quite kill yet over here. And you're not going to be able to do a thing about them. Now, I'm going a bit deeper than I had wanted to go. And one of them rolled off the map and died. A few of them rolled off the map and died. A significant portion of them, I am raking in money because they are just killing themselves to get to me. Okay, well, you can let me through, please. I would like to use my money. I'm gonna be flanked here. Tactical situations with Sam. Floating red skull of evil. Skeleton on one side. Skeleton on the other side. The two seem to be backing off if I stand right here. It appears I'm in some kind of area-based, like, AI blind spot where neither can hurt me. Okay, see, and that is the annoying part about skeletons. I can hit these dorks and I can hit these dorks and they just don't die. Except for the ones that rolled off the side, like idiots. They made my job easy. I was really hoping to pick up a specific item here and I wasn't able to find it. We will be back. Wait a minute. Free stuff? Never mind. Never mind. Incidentally, I was looking for a pair of binoculars, but why that would be with a group of beings who can't see because they have no eyes, I'm not sure. Look at that. One tiny little expedition, and I already managed to claw my way back up to some amount of standing. Now let's see. More health would be nice. More stamina would be nice. I don't really have a build in mind, which complicates things a little bit. But, I'm going to go with something simple. More HP. That might become a trend, unfortunately, as I struggle to figure out what kind of a build I want to do. Because I would like to show, like, a good plethora of weapons. And, like, different types of builds you can do. Youch! That's a lot of strength requirement. If you're wondering where I'm reading that, it's the rec param in the middle there. That is based off of the index of my stat in that stat. So I have a 10 in strength and therefore cannot use a Zweihander as much as I may like to. Very sad. Very sad. So I'm going to begin to put points into strength to change that. I might just do a quality build. I'm also going to use an item called a Humanity. So, Humanity. We read about that in the Firekeeper Soul. What is the deal with that? Humanity is this ephemeral black sprite. It is born of the dark and is the source of all of our life. Right, or not necessarily our life, but the source of what makes us human. So as you can see, I'm about to offer Humanity to the bonfire, and bing bang boom, I'm back to looking human. So I imbue myself with the soul of something else. I'm going to use 2 more as well for a kind of abstract purpose. You can use... Not yet. That's foolish of me. Inevitably, that'll come into play. For now, I just have a safety net of 2 Humanity. Ouch. But yeah, Humanity forms the basis of souls in this game. Or rather, distinguishing elements.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Fatherland.
Hello, Petrus.
With us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Okay, well,
Hello there. I realize that I have... But I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will.
Okay.
No.
Thanks for the $3.
Oh, I have to await my... So what if I were to put that...
I would love to learn miracles from
Very
you.
well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Well, I'm not really a part of any covenant right now, so... Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
This guy here is a cleric. I have joined his team, which I feel kind of weird about.
Companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
And it seems he's not traveling alone. For the moment he is, but he's not quite there yet. Thurland is the kingdom that he hailed from. So, interesting. As I was saying, with dementia as our theme in mind, it is interesting, I think, that we are able to burn the very essence of our, distinguishing soul, using it up, converting it into energy, to reclaim a facsimile or a recollection or a notion of what we once were, our humanity. Welcome back. Oh, it feels great being back here. Bam. And bam. See, look at this. I'm already so ready to kick butt. But yeah. No, I think that's interesting. We burn it up, and it is very, very limited. Inevitably, we'll run out of it. There will be no remembering who we were. We may end up just as empty as these dweebs. They have a surprising amount of range. Oh my goodness. Oh dear heavens. Okay. I have been thinking about this rematch as I was sleeping. I enjoyed the first recording session to the point that I was like thinking about it, as I said prior, and to the point that I thought about it mid-dream. I was like, how am I going to get past the point of 80 dudes, and please don't hit that. It was an explosive barrel, for reference. Yeah. And there it is. Perseverance. Overcame and conquered. Thank you, sleeping self. You gave me all of the thoughts and strength that I needed to overcome this challenge. But yeah. Humanity. Now, humanity as a gameplay function is something you can only get in two ways, really. Either we can get it by helping other players, summoning into their worlds, as I am now going to summon into Solaire, or by taking it, bait off of corpses or very living creatures. And I think that is an interesting dichotomy. That the only way for us to remember ourselves, the way I choose to see it, is that we are given a choice between pro-social or anti-social action. Helping or harming. The more effective way, the more sustainable way, I think, the way that gets us all through this game together, is by summoning in and helping each other. It benefits you, it benefits the person you're summoned by. I think that's a very strong ludonarrative assonance. And speaking of dementia, this is also something I thought of. How fascinating is it that we have a monster which was frozen in stone, coming to life once it sees its purpose being to absolutely smack the shit out of you. Get shielded, nerd. Oh boy. I am kind of, at a loss here. But yeah, no. This guy spends all of his time just sort of waiting for somebody to... Wow, Solaire, I am so sorry. I am making you work. I usually have a different build going into this fight, and so yeah, usually I use a slashing weapon, not a piercing. But no, I think it's really interesting that this guy spends all of his time waiting around to fulfill his purpose. And the second we come around as only with the memory of the world as shitty as it is now. Sorry, Solaire, by the way. Oh, you're alive! Whew. Another Dark Souls asymmetry. Oh, Solaire, please. My friend, help. I beg of you. I'm wounded. I need you to strike the final blow. Never mind. Oh my. And stab. Solaire got it, but I got it at the same time, so we're not going to talk about that. Incidentally, you can also cut that guy's tail off and get an axe. But no. Dementia. Those guys spend all their time wondering, or not even knowing that they're alive, until something lights their neurons, and they remember their purpose, and they swing down. So, simultaneously, These are ideas I am constructing on the fly. I've considered prior to this, maybe writing down my notes to be a bit more continuative. But I also do think there might be something special about it being a little bit more crackpot. I digress. It is interesting that by knowing our purpose, being told to ring the bell for reasons not necessarily clear to us, just because it's the only thing we know about this world, they remember their purpose too. And in us rising to meet them, they meet us as equals.